Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Produce Buzzers podcast. We are so happy you have joined us today, and I think you will be too after the show is over, because you will learn a lot about fresh fruits and vegetables, how to select and store them, how to prepare and cook them, and surprising facts about their history and origin. We hope it inspires you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, not only for your health, but also for your delight and pleasure as you explore their amazing world of taste and delicious flavors. Eating more of them will transform your life in so many positive ways. So settle back, relax, and get ready for another delicious adventure with the Produce Buzzers. Greetings and welcome to another delicious episode of the Produce Buzzers podcast. I'm Edwin Stepp, your host and executive editor of ProduceBuzz.com. I'm joined once again by the founder of Produce Buzz, Teresa Nolan, along with Rick Stepp and Cynthia Benedetto, both contributing editors to Produce Buzz. Now, Produce Buzzers podcast fans, this week we are bringing back a segment we often played in the first year of the podcast. We called it Guess the Mystery Fruit or Veggie then, but we decided to rename it to Produce Mysteries. In this segment, I will ask the Produce Buzzers a series of questions to see if they can guess the mystery fruit or veggie. And you listeners can play along, see if you can get it. Produce Buzzers, are you ready to play Produce Mysteries?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Now, I'm going to just let you know, give you a little hint. This is a fruit, not a veggie. Okay. This fruit is believed to have originated somewhere between Western China and Central Asia and has been cultivated for over 4,000 years.
Mandarin.
That is probably true, but that's not our mystery fruit today. According to traditional fruit lore, the ancient Greeks called this fruit the golden egg of the sun because of its brilliant golden color and early summer appearance.
The apple.
What kind of apple?
A golden delicious.
No. Early
The
summer.
apple pear.
Early summer appearance.
I was going to say Asian pear.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This fruit became so closely associated with one country that its scientific name literally means Armenian plum. Questions will get easier. I didn't want to start too easy.
How about them
Is it
Yankees?
the pear? Is that what you just said?
The Armenian plum, its scientific name in Latin means Armenian plum.
But nobody's guessed what it is.
No.
I didn't take Latin.
Ancient Roman writers loved this fruit because it ripened early in the spring. In fact, the Latin word associated with it means early ripening.
Apricot.
Hey! Very
Ah.
good.
Wow.
How did you get that so quickly?
I think I remember it from our past information.
Oh, maybe so. That you got a
You
good
can't
memory.
remember any of the puns, but you remember this random fruit.
I did not think we'd ever talked about apricots. That's kind of why I chose it. But
Yeah.
I
no,
don't
the
know.
reason.
Is it
Off of my head,
apricots or apricots?
Well, I'm sure that's debatable. The reason actually I thought about it was in Fresh Market this week, they had red apricots.
Oh,
Ooh.
The
Oh,
color.
that's fresh?
Yep.
okay.
Can you see them? Very red and really great flavor. So
Are they
that's
Are they
sweet?
sweet or tart?
well, they're a bit of both because apricots typically are a combination.
Right.
So
Mhm.
as they've ripened, they've gotten a lot sweeter, but they still have that tart flavor, which I like.
Where are they actually
And what's
from?
the texture?
It's like a peach. It's not as juicy as a peach.
But it's
They're a
not
little-
as soft as like a plum, maybe a ripe plum.
It's softer than a plum.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
between a peach and a plum. You don't eat apricots?
If it's softer than a plum, that's kind of mushy. Mm.
It's not mushy. It's tough. Have you ever had dried apricots?
Yes.
Those are really good.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
Sugar
Well-
gets
Full,
concentrated.
full of sugar and sulfites and
Yeah.
all of this good stuff.
They're not as juicy as peaches or plums, but the texture is almost a little bit leathery, not in a gross way, but a bit
No,
leathery.
that's spot on.
Yeah.
Do those red ones taste similar to the regular apricots that we get?
You know, I'd probably have to put them side by side, which I've not done,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're definitely very similar. It may
I'd like
just
a
be-
video on that, please.
Okay, good. We do that.
Has anybody, this is conversation adjacent, eaten the red kiwi yet?
I
I
have,
have.
yeah. Yep.
Okay, what's it taste like?
It was not as
tastes-
flavorful as the golden, in my opinion. What did you think, Teresa?
Yeah, and maybe the one I got was not as ripe as it should have been. It wasn't quite, I didn't think it was quite as sweet as the gold, but it's supposed to be sweeter. So maybe I didn't let it ripen long enough.
Yeah, I remember when they first talked with somebody at one of the produce conventions, they were just coming in, and they said they're going to have a bricks level over 20.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
But the
Yeah.
one I had did not taste as good as some of the Goldens that I've been eating recently. So
Yeah.
Now, when you're talking about the goldens, are you talking about the golden,
Golden kiwi.
the tropical fruit one?
I
Like,
don't
so it's
know
not
what you
like it's not like a regular kiwi.
no, it's a kiwi.
It's-
It's just golden color.
It's
But
it's
there was
smooth
the green-
skin. It's got a smooth skin. It
Okay,
doesn't
so
have
it's
any
more,
fuzzy-
so one tastes more like a strawberry and one tastes more like tropical fruit, right?
I don't get that.
Well, that's
It's
the way
just-
that we were merchandising it, and that I've
Oh.
never eaten one of those golden
Okay.
ones.
It's very good. You would like it because it's much sweeter than a regular kiwi.
But if
you
it's
don't
like,
like seeds, do you?
if I, like I don't mind the seeds of like a yellow dragon fruit, like stuff like that. I don't like the seeds of a cantaloupe, a honeydew, like those
Yeah, these are the tiny seeds.
prodigious
They're
seeds.
tiny seeds. Yeah.
So that doesn't bother me. But if it tastes like, what are the tropical fruits? I don't even know 'em. Like papaya and like those kind of.
Yeah, it doesn't have a strong flavor like that. It's just, to me, it's like a sweeter kiwi.
It's actually a milder flavor than the green, in my opinion. It's just much, much sweeter.
Yes.
The green, can be pretty tart even at the ripest stages, or tart-ish, even at the ripest point, in my opinion, in my experience. But anyway,
But if you put those kiwi fruit in the refrigerator and let them ripen slowly, 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 the sugars start to concentrate and they'll last a long time in the refrigerator and they'll get sweeter as they ripen. So it's really good.
yeah, very good tip.
I
But
And
we're not
also-
talking. Oh, go ahead.
Also, this is what I like to call tree fruit. I don't know whether they
Meat
call it tree
tenderizer.
fruit anymore. Tree fruit season, and you're beginning to see lots of plums, peaches, nectarines,
Yep.
apricots.
You're
in
gonna
the
have to
stores.
edit this out though. But like I feel like everybody's too quick to get it to market, and it's never what I think a tree fruit ripened stone fruit should be.
Yeah, you
Well,
gotta
they
let them.
are sometimes, yeah, but let them ripen.
I got some California white nectarines this week at the store, and
how are
man,
those?
oh, they were so good, really sweet. So
You still see the white peaches around?
Yes,
California white
they haven't
peaches,
seen 'em. They
I've
haven't
only
They're like-
seen. I've
They're
only-
seasons like this.
I'm sure there's some white. Actually, I'll take that back, Rick. I went to the Western North Carolina Farmers Market over in Asheville a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and they had South Carolina white peaches there, and I bought some, and those were really good too.
Okay.
Those they sold like hotcakes when we would, and it was only like 2 or 3 weeks that we had them. The
Yeah,
white peaches.
they're much more fragile. I had a white peach tree in my yard in Pasadena,
Mm.
and those were delicious. But boy, you pick them in just a day or two, they would be mush. Had to eat them quickly.
We always call them Georgia Bells, but I'm sure there's 1,000 varieties of white peaches, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, apricots, there's over 1,000 named varieties. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about apricots. I want our listeners to learn a little bit about the history of them here, and we'll dive into the nutrition. Yes, apricots are a fruit with a history that stretches back more than 4,000 years. It's traveled the ancient Silk Road, been cultivated by emperors and kings, inspired poets and artists, and today can be found fresh, dried, canned, preserved, and even aboard spacecraft. The apricot may be small, but its history is large. Few fruits have traveled as widely or become as deeply woven into cultures. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore where apricots came from, how they traveled across continents, and what makes them unique nutritionally, how to pick the perfect one, and some delicious ways to enjoy them. So grab a fresh apricot or maybe a handful of dried ones. Those are good. And let's dive into the fascinating story of this little fruit with a very big history. Apricots are one of those fruits people recognize but don't always know much about. They're small, golden orange, and packed with flavor. They look a little like miniature peaches, which makes sense because they're related. Apricots belong to the rose family, along with peaches, plums, cherries, almonds, and apples. What's fascinating is their history. Apricots have been cultivated for thousands of years. Historians and botanists believe they originated in a broad region stretching from Western China through Central Asia, including areas of present-day Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and northwestern China. Wild apricot trees still grow in those regions today. Ancient Chinese records describe apricots as both a food and a medicinal plant. Traditional Chinese medicine associated apricot kernels with treatments for respiratory ailments and coughs. They then spread westward via the Silk Road, one of the most important trade routes. As merchants traveled between East and West, they carried seeds, plants, spices, ideas, and technologies. Apricots moved with them. The fruit became established throughout Central Asia, where it thrived in mountain valleys and semi-arid climates. They traveled through Persia, Armenia, and eventually to Europe. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, Armenia is so closely associated with apricots that the scientific name for the apricot is Prunus armenicaia, which means Armenian plum. Although apricots likely did not originate in Armenia, the country became so strongly associated with them that Europeans eventually believed that Armenia was their birthplace. Archaeologists have discovered apricot seeds in Armenian sites dating back thousands of years, and the fruit became a national symbol of Armenia. The color apricot is often associated with Armenian identity. Apricot wood is traditionally used to make the Armenian musical instrument known as the dudak. The apricot is often referred to as Armenia's national fruit. This association led Swedish botanist Carl Linnaeus to name the species Prunus armenicaia in the 18th century. They were loved and cherished by the ancient Greeks and Romans. The Greeks called the fruit praekokion, which means early ripening. The Romans adopted a similar term, praecoquum, which means precocious or early ripening. Compared to peaches, apricots ripened early in the season, making them especially prized. The Roman naturalist Pliny the Elder wrote about apricots in the 1st century AD. Roman trade networks helped spread apricots throughout southern Europe. And they eventually made their way to California, which now grows the vast majority of fresh apricots in the United States. Spanish explorers and missionaries introduced apricots to the Americas during the 16th and 17th centuries. Franciscan missionaries planted apricot trees throughout what is now California. The fruit thrived in California's Mediterranean climate. While most grocery stores may offer one or two kinds of apricots, horticulturalists have identified more than 1,000 named varieties worldwide. That's more varieties than most people will encounter in a lifetime, and each one has its own balance of sweetness, tartness, aroma, and color. The most widely grown variety in the United States and California is the Blenheim apricot. Its rich honey-like flavor has earned it an almost legendary reputation among apricot lovers. And a very famous valley in California used to be filled with orchards of them. That valley was known as the Valley of Heart's Delight before it became Silicon Valley. So where all the technology is done now, apricots used to grow there. So And they, of course, featured in art, literature, and symbolism. In Chinese culture, apricot blossoms became associated with education and scholarship. Ancient stories describe respected teachers lecturing beneath apricot trees. In Persian poetry, apricots often appear alongside gardens, flowers, and images of paradise. European painters frequently included apricots in still life paintings as symbols of abundance and the fleeting nature of summer. Ancient cultures called it the egg of the sun. And in Egypt, people joke that something impossible will happen tomorrow in apricot season, which means that it probably won't happen. Like when pigs fly tomorrow in apricot season. I don't know why they said that. An American poet named Diane Ackerman called the apricot somewhere between a peach and a prayer. And I think she meant on one level, it's a simple fruit similar to a peach, though smaller and more delicate. But on another level, the apricot evokes something transcendent, beauty, longing, memory, gratitude, spiritual, something spiritual. The fruit becomes more than a food.
Or it could be like, you got a prayer, so it could be right in line with
impossibility.
With the Egyptians.
There you go. I like that. That was a good observation. So anyway, do you guys like apricots? And if you do, how do you describe the flavor of them?
Well, if I've had a good peach, a good juicy, sweet tree ripened peach, beside the best apricot that you could find, I would choose the peach because to me they're juicier and they're more flavorful, and they're also probably half the price.
Yeah.
So
that's probably
but
true.
that's like saying like, oh, but I really prefer a steak over an apricot. Like, of course, like something like you can't compare that. But aren't apricots like more on like charcuterie boards and like because of that,
especially dried apricots? I think.
Yeah, that the texture in which you're saying, like
absolutely.
that kind
There's
of
nothing better than dried apricot.
Even that sweet juicy peach.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like you're talking about fresh off the tree. I've never tasted an apricot yet that compares to a good peach.
If you like tart fruit, probably you'd be happy with an apricot. But if you like them sweeter, you'd probably go with them.
Yeah, and as Ricky, sorry, Teresa. As Rick mentioned, they're not as juicy either. They don't, when you bite into them, the juice doesn't flow.
Yeah.
It's probably better to bake with or cook with.
Well,
now,
probably.
What were those expressions you said that something would happen tomorrow?
It said tomorrow in apricot season.
It must be very short.
That's
it.
Must
be a really short season.
It is a short season.
It's only one day long.
Well, maybe it's a little longer than that, but
if you wait till tomorrow, apricot season might be over. I think that's another.
Yeah, right.
Because that is something they do. They have a limited window, fresh apricots, and they're here now. They're abundant now, but you get into in August, you won't see them. They just are not around. But in my experience, I could be wrong, but
the Guinness Book of World Records has no record for the world's largest apricot.
Thank God.
But it does have a record for the world's largest apricot pie. October 6, 2025 in the Netherlands.
Very
I don't think that would make a good pie.
2,330 pounds and required over 530 kilograms of apricots to construct. So that would gross Cynthia out of a 2,000-pound apricot pie.
Who ate it? That's what I want to know. Like,
you put a lot of sugar in it, Cynthia. You put sugar in.
Well, that's like fine, but like I don't want some big mass, like like I don't like buffets because it's just like filling up the trough. The
pig trough. Remember, we were at that hotel. I kept telling you, it's the pig trough.
Like
go down.
It is.
Go
like,
down.
Oh my gosh! Buffet. I had to go down and get my tea and like something in the morning, and then it was just like I'm running.
My boss at the Hilton, when I was a waiter at the Hilton in Pasadena, he was from North Carolina like me, and my boss, and That's why he hired me, because where I was from, I had no experience of waiting tables, none whatsoever. And I said, I'm not sure if I can do this right away until I learn a little bit about it. He said, oh boy, it's just like slopping the hogs back home.
That's
And then he would bring in the Deliverance reference of squeal like a pig.
Yeah, I can't remember that movie, but like that's it. Like it was so traumatizing that like I can never forget that part.
Yeah.
Was
Oh, I got
was that filmed in the it was filmed in South Carolina, right?
No,
But
Georgia.
what was the film in South Carolina that they flooded a whole town? And maybe it wasn't because of a film, but maybe
No,
they
a dam was being created, and then they flooded the town, and the movie was like before that, I think. But
oh,
yeah,
so it was
I think some of the scenes in Deliverance were filmed in South Carolina.
Well, that river is the border between Georgia and South Carolina, the Chattooga River. I've rafted it
Oh, okay.
before. And it's the border at the very northern part. Right.
Right.
Cross on one side, you're in South Carolina, and the other side. I think that's right. That might not be quite right, but it's very close.
so
Yeah.
by Hendersonville, like where I would go up, like Western South Carolina?
It's
Or more?
west. It's quite a bit west of where you lived in Travelers Rest area.
You drive from Georgia up towards Chattanooga in that area.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Mhm. Oh, I had to add one more thing about who wants to guess what the world's largest apricot ever recorded is?
I thought you said they didn't have that.
Not in the Guinness
Just
Book of World
making it
Records.
up now?
Try to guess.
No, but I found it on this Google search, so it must be true.
Well, when we did the cherry episode, I think we cited the world's largest cherry that ever been recorded, and I can't remember how big that was now. I would imagine would have to be a little bit bigger than a cherry because generally apricots are bigger than a cherry. I'm going to say 6 inches wide.
Oh.
2.5 inches in
That's
diameter.
it? I mean, like that's like the size of a pear.
It's really not that big.
Yeah, it's not that big at all.
That cherry was bigger.
Not that great of a.
Guess how much it weighed?
How much?
3.9 ounces.
I was gonna say, like, if you told me it was like so dense that it was like, yeah, 1.5 pounds.
We won't want to gross you out with 1,000-pound apricot.
No, it's that pumpkin that was like.
Yeah. But that shows how small they are. I always thought, well, maybe I'm getting apricots that are too small. Maybe that's why I don't like them. But they really are a small fruit.
Well, this one, I don't have a ruler, but usually like my knuckle, the first part of my finger is about an inch, the first knuckle. So this is almost 2 inches, if my memory is right on the knuckle.
Right.
But do they, when they measure fruit, or like, so 2.25?
You know what? I'm not sure if that's
that
exactly
diameter, or is it like, can you use your finger, or unless you use your?
No, I'm sure they use something that's more official than my finger, but
it's about like, don't you do that like you're drinking?
Maybe I should.
Like, yeah, give me like.
No,
like a scotch when you.
Oh, two fingers for scotch. But maybe I should get that pie Rick was talking about and stick in my thumb and pull out. Oh, no.
So your little jack corner.
Pull out an apricot.
Did he? That
No.
the corner.
Maybe he pulled out a plum cot. Have you guys tried those?
Plucots.
Plucots. You're right. Plucots. Sorry. Plucots.
Yeah. That's my child's new thing. She digs those a lot.
They taste, I don't get much apricot in those. They're more plum-like to me.
Yes. Yes.
Pluots. What's the other? There's another mix with those things. I don't know. Can't remember. There's several fruits that are combined like that, and now I can't remember what they are. But anyway, nutritionally, apricots are loaded with vitamin A, which supports healthy vision and immune function, potassium, fiber, and antioxidants. Their bright orange color comes from beta carotene, the same antioxidant that gives carrots and sweet potatoes their color. Turkey is the largest producer of apricots in the world. So that calls back to that Silk Road origin. And I mentioned that they've been on the spacecraft. Astronauts have included dried apricots in space food because they're lightweight, nutritious, and delicious. So it's a common food on board the spacecraft.
I thought they had to eat stuff that they just squirted like out of a
Not now.
tube.
That was back when we were the first started, I think they did. But now you see they're growing fruits and vegetables on the International Space Station.
What kind of fruits and vegetables?
Mostly like lettuces, easy things to grow, maybe peppers or something. Something that would grow easy in a greenhouse probably would grow there. But, you see them, when you see the video, they're, floating around eating yogurt and all kinds of stuff. And they occasionally let it fly up into the air.
And it doesn't spill out?
Little blobs. It goes up in like a blob. Okay, let's get back to apricots. How would you best serve these? Maybe in some interesting ways. Of course, fresh is the way most people eat them, and then I think probably second most way to eat them, or maybe the first way to eat them for most people is dried. But how about grilled? Grilled, that's something that I've not tried, but that sounds good to me, grilling apricots. Of course, into pastries and jams and salads. That's another way. With yogurt, they can't be beat. Apricot preserves on a sourdough toast.
Now, those are very good.
Yeah.
I think you have to process them to really enjoy
them. Preserves, it's like a jam. So there you go.
So is it like marmalade that it's not just like heating it up and
I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to make it, but I'm sure it's like making any other jam. You have like peach jam or whatever. You have to cook it down to some. You got to cook it down.
It's basically apricot flavored sugar is what you're eating.
Yeah. By the time you get the peel off and the kit out, you're going to have to
not much left.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think you need to peel them. Don't peel them. They'll cook that peeling.
Well, you can cook them down.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and then run them through a ricer. Yeah.
Okay.
Has anyone ever had an apricot pie?
No.
I don't think I have either.
All right, your task is to make one.
It would be a good accessory, or how would you do, like, not more than a garnish, but it to be the star of the show.
Yeah. I'm sure it would substitute anywhere with peach would work. But you mentioned it early, Cynthia, charcuterie boards. That's a great spot for them. So anyway, today we've learned that apricots are ancient, nutritious, delicious, and surprisingly fascinating. They're small fruits with a very big history. So if you haven't tried a fresh tree-ripened apricot lately, do it soon because the season is very short. Put it on your shopping list and let us know what you think. All right. So, Produce Buzzers, thanks for joining us. Teresa, are you going to let us get away without being punished?
No.
Oh, man, I didn't stop quickly
You
enough.
got some big shoes to fill, Teresa, with Edwin's dad jokes.
Yes, I know. But hey, I'll try anyway. And of course, if they're bad, that's even better.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So bad it's good.
Yeah.
All right. So what is today's homegrown?
Well, there was an apricot tree in the barnyard, and the animals were kind of bored. So they decided that they would have a apricot food fight. So they kind of split up, and it was like the fowls against the bovines and pigs and the others. So they start throwing fruit at each other and yelling things. What kind of things did the animals yell at each other?
Okay, so the animals in this, was it a barnyard?
Yes, the
She
barnyard.
said bovine, so she said some cows.
Cows
And then
and
like she didn't say
pigs.
befouled, she just said fowl.
She said
Yeah,
cows, pigs, and fowls.
Chickens or
yeah, all
turkeys,
kinds of
Chickens,
fowls.
geese,
Mhm.
ducks.
carriers of pestilence and disease, all those with wings. Go ahead. So
And
they
they're
threw it
deciding
at
they're going to
them.
have apricot fight. And they
Mhm.
start showing, you didn't say they were throwing apricots. You just said there was some, or were they throwing apricots
Apricots, yeah.
at each
They're throwing
other?
apricots.
Okay. So
Because
having
they don't last very long. They fall off the tree. There's plenty of
Yeah.
them.
And then they
Okay.
go, got ya. Instead of like, apricot ya. Got ya.
Let's see, what would they say? I got no guess. Rick, come on.
What would they say, or what are they throwing?
No, what did they
What
say
would
as
they
they were
say
throwing?
one after they
Were
threw
they
them?
yelling at each other?
Oh,
This
that's
kind
When
of
they hit
taunting?
you. What do you
Were
say
they
with like a
taunting?
snowball? Or can
All
you
right, we
answer?
give up unless Rick's
I give
got a
up.
guess. What were they
Okay.
saying?
Well, they would say things like, duck, move. And then the cat said, let me out of here.
Okay, so it had zero to do with what they were throwing. That was terrible.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's
The thing we have to
it.
realize, we're not humanizing these animals. The sounds they make.
Uh, I was
Apricot.
trying. Yeah, something like apricot that.
No,
Okay.
it's or you could go like, oh, thank God, season's over tomorrow.
Right. Okay, time's up, Produce Buzzers. We got to get out of here. This has been fun. You guys were brilliant today, taking those clues in and guessing. Rick, you got the prize. But the others of you had some good guesses. So anyway, this has been fun. We're going to play Produce Mysteries again one day. So stay tuned. Thanks for listening, listeners, and tune in again next time to the Produce Buzzers podcast. Well, thank you, listeners, for tuning in to the Produce Buzzers podcast, brought to you by Produce Buzz, the gathering place for lovers of fresh fruits and veggies. We hope you were entertained a bit and educated a lot about fresh produce. Be sure to join us next time, and please tell your friends to do so as well. Like, share, and comment on our Produce Buzz Facebook page. And check out our website at www.producebuzz.com. There you will find articles about fresh fruits and veggies, how to select, store, and prepare them, as well as lots of interesting facts about all the wonderful bounty the earth provides for us. Until next time, be fruitful and don't forget to veg out.